Hi, my name's Nairi and I'm a trigeminal neuralgia sufferer, and I first had trigeminal neuralgia pretty much exactly a year to the day, and so there are various videos on the channel explaining my story from the start right the way to where I am now. And it's safe to say that where I am now is a much better place than where I was in the beginning, and it might help you to see that journey, that things have got better for me, because I think sometimes when you first think that you have trigeminal, you first start on that journey, you cannot believe that anything can ever get any better or that you can ever live anywhere near a normal life. So it might encourage you a little bit. So today is a video all about how to live with chronic pain, such as a condition like trigeminal neuralgia or any other chronic pain conditions, and what can you do to help your situation to make you feel a little bit better. Now, when I first had it was kind of like a diagnosis when I rang the helpline over my condition. The lady said on the phone, "Well, what now?" And at that point I wasn't ready to hear what now. I just wanted my old life back. I wanted to live in a way that I always had done. I wasn't prepared to accept that I might need to change things. And she said to me, the biggest piece of advice I can give you is to find some hobbies and things that you can do that use your hands, so that when you're in pain that you can take your mind off of those things. So I guess this video is about mindfulness, but it's about things that you can do which are going to be easier for you to do as a trigeminal neuralgia sufferer or someone who's experiencing pain, or in my case sometimes experiencing pain but also experiencing tiredness from the tablets, because the tablets, being a anti-seizure medication, are tablets that make you slow down by virtue of what they are. And I've tried to reduce those on several occasions down to 200 milligram of carbamazepine, but I've really not been that successful in that. And so I will get a dip, especially late afternoon, in the way that I'm feeling, and I've tried to fight that. I've tried to work my way through it, and it doesn't work. You know, what can we do? What types of things can we do? So I just want to explain to you the types of things that I found, and it may not be for you, but it may trigger some ideas in your mind about perhaps some new hobbies that you can find. The first thing that I do is a decorative planning. So it's like a journal or a planner where I can then, basically it's stickers, use stickers to create something really, really nice, but also you can use it as a diary as well. So you may or may not have heard of it, but it's something that's all the craze really in the USA, not the craze in the UK. Yes, you could do colouring, that's another thing that you could do, but I feel like with the planners then there's a purpose for it, because I'm planning ahead what my next week's going to look like, and my memory is really poor. I sometimes forget people's names, I sometimes forget what's happening from one day to another. So having a planner or a diary which I then decorate is a win-win for me. So I can use my creative skills, but I can also help myself as well, because you may find if you're on medication more long-term or even shorter term that your brain or your memory is not what it was, and you get a lot of fog and a lot of difficulty in processing things. The other thing that I found to do quite recently is junk journaling. So you can find all these things on YouTube. So decorative happy planning is what I've just mentioned. Junk journaling, you may have heard of these things, you may not. Junk journaling is recreating a journal out of junk. So you can take the inside of a book out that you don't want anymore, or you can create the cover with cereal boxes or old filofaxes, and then you create the journal by putting pages in out of rubbish, out of junk. So just quickly show you, this is my very first attempt, so please don't be kind of think, oh wow, I don't want to do that, because if you look on YouTube you will find people who are very good at this. Let me just show you. So I've just used old labels and ribbons, and this was an old book, and then inside I've kind of used different papers, and I'm going to put my memories and use it as a memory keeping. So you can put photographs in there, some of your artwork, or you can literally just put labels or artifacts around the house, or if you want you can literally just reinvent junk repurpose, and it's great fun using junk because you know it's going to go in the bin, so it makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you're helping the environment by doing that, and that's a really good feeling. The other thing that I like to do sometimes, especially in the evenings, is just relax to, I know it sounds obvious, but just relax to a familiar series on telly or something that you've watched before that you almost know you're going to enjoy, because then that doesn't cause you any extra stress or any extra thought process. By the time I get to about 9 in the evening, like, my head is pretty, like, I'm all over the place. I can't really function on very much, and if I try to do stuff beyond 9 o'clock, then I've kind of had it really. So that's the mindfulness side, and I also do painting with watercolor. So even if you don't think you're very good at painting, you could get yourself some cheap watercolor, cheap paint brushes, and just have a bash. You know, follow somebody on YouTube that is teaching you how to do it, giving you some sort of lessons or whatever, and just have a go. It doesn't have to be for the finished product. So there we go, stuff to use your hands. So to update you on where I'm at now, first of all, I want to say Happy New Year. And I want to say to you, if you're coming into the new year and this is all new to you, and you think that you've got trigeminal neuralgia, or you do have a recent diagnosis, don't panic. Don't panic and think your life's over. It does feel like that to start with, and you'll look at some of my videos and you can see how down I am and how I think my life is over. But sometimes trigeminal neuralgia does stabilize, and you do get the medication levels right. So there'll be people watching this that are in a better place than me, like they're almost in remission and they can do quite a lot. There'll be people in a far worse situation than me. There'll be people who are definitely going to need to go for surgery, people who can't, it's not an option, or people that aren't going to need to go for surgery. There's such a wide range. You cannot compare yourself to anybody. You're just you, and you need to go on your own journey. Some of you will know who've been following me that I am waiting for a neurology appointment. My diagnosis came from my dentist, came from then to maxillofacial, and then I'm awaiting neurology. Now, I was worried about this because it was all very loosely said to me, and I didn't get the feeling of knowing whether it was going to happen or not, but you have to trust the system. Now, in the UK, at the end of the day, we're not paying for it. So yes, you can complain, but at the end of the day, we're not paying for it. I left it for a long time. So in June, I had a letter from the maxillofacial person saying, there is no evidence of compression of the nerve. So I'd had my MRI, which doesn't mean I don't have it. It just means there's no obvious compression of one nerve that could be dealt with in any way. And I'm happy on the carbamazepine, and now's the time to refer to neurology, and to, after that, refer to pain management. And this person also said to me, if you don't get to see neurology within 6 months, I would like to see you back here so that you are actually under someone. And when he said that, I was a bit like, that sounds confusing, but never mind. And that was that. So June, nothing's happened. And I said to myself before Christmas, even though I feel stable, even though I feel a lot better, I still have my days when I'm not feeling very well. I have the odd day of flare up, not so often if I'm more careful, which I've learned to be, but I also get days when I really wish I was on one tablet, not two. And I try it for a few days and then it all goes a bit pear-shaped. And I really want to talk to someone who can talk me through that. I really want to see a neurologist and say, what shall I do about that? Should I stick with the medication? Shall I, reduce down? Is there anything else I can do or not? And if there's nothing I can do, I am building my life around these new sets of things that I'm doing. I'm being careful how much I do. I'm not going on any outrageously long kind of walks or anything that joggles things around, long trips and stuff like that. But I am building that up. I am doing more walks, but I've learned how much I can do. But I'd really love to speak to someone that knows about the condition, that can advise me properly. And I don't feel like I'm under anyone. So I rang the maxillofacial and said, the deal was I either go to see neurology within 6 months or I'm back to see you guys. But actually I don't want to see you guys, I want to see neurology. Can you tell me where that referral is, please? She got my notes up and she couldn't see any referral. I was like, No. And things like that really upset you when you've got trigeminal neuralgia or any chronic pain condition, because you might be watching this and you might have something else, but they do upset you, don't they? Because you feel like, where is the value in me? Why can't anybody get this right? So yeah, I was a bit down that day, but I kind of knew it in my heart. I'd heard nothing. I kind of had a feeling that this hadn't happened. So the lady that is the kind of like secretary was really, really lovely, and always has been, and said, I will follow this up for you. And I said, so I don't need to do anything then? She went, no, it's clear that something hasn't happened. We need to get you fast tracked now to neurology. And I thought, well, at least I know that that is now going to happen. Fast tracked could be 3 months, it could be 4 weeks, who knows, but it will mean that that referral's gone in and that the urgency has increased on it, and that's all I wanted to know, really. And she also phoned me today, left a message and said, I'm on it. She said, you haven't heard anything yet, but I'm on it, and on Tuesday I'm going to be phoning Neurology to talk to them about your situation. So that is where I'm at, and when I have the neurology appointment I will update you on what they say. So again, for those of you who've not watched any of my videos, I have mostly pain on one side, which is this side, and I would say that compared to where I was in the beginning with the level of pain was like up to about a 7 when I first had this, and now at its worst it goes up to about a 4, and that doesn't happen very often. That might happen every 2 to 3 days, so that's really, really good. Over the Christmas period, something really odd happened though, and it did freak me out, and it did worry my husband a little bit as well, because you hear of this happening. It's all of a sudden, I had that stabbing pain that I get here. So when I'm having a flare-up, I might have stabbing pains here, they may be here, they may be here, or they might be all the way over, and I might be, you know, pretty much all the way down the side of my head, but I don't get anything on the other side, and that's typical of trigeminal anyway, isn't it? So all of a sudden I got this really bad stabbing pain in this ear, and I think it could have been after we'd done quite a long walk, but I can't remember, and it was exactly the same stabbing pain. And I said to him, it is a trigeminal pain, it's not anything else, it's definitely that. And so that was a little bit worrying, because then that means that, you know, bilateral things are happening. But you know, trigeminal changes, pain changes, somebody's story is not somebody else's. So I hope you're kind of encouraged by the fact that I'm finding things to do in my life, and I've been able to reinvent kind of who I am in a way. But I hope also, if you're at the beginning of your journey, you're not feeling like hearing anything positive from anyone, you just want to hear about the pain and what it's like, then go back to a lot of my earlier videos and you will see what the pain is like. Okay, so thanks for watching, and Happy New Year, and I keep you updated. I kind of put a video on about every 3 to 4 weeks if I've got something to say. Okay, see you soon.